let me just give a bit more color onto gap selling. So the gap is effectively the reason why they will or will not buy from you. So if the gap isn't big enough, people generally won't buy. Another way to look at that is if the benefit is lower than the amount of change required, they're not going to make the change. Whereas if they have to make a change, input variable, and the gap and the reward is so much greater, then that's when they're going to actually make the leap. Okay. So how do we quantify this gap? So this is like basically the philosophy that I've just taught for a very, very, very long period of time. The first part is looking at their current state. Okay, this is current state. Current state is what is the quantitative numbers about where their current scenario is. So let's just take the example of health. Okay, health fitness offer. You've run your challenge, everything's going well, and we want to do a little bit of gap analysis on the call just to understand where people are at. Okay, we want to walk through the quantitative numbers. That's a fancy word for saying numbers. Okay, so let's just take an example. Person comes in, they're a little bit overweight, and so on. What's their current weight? Current weight? What's their previous weight? Okay, so hey, you're currently 80 kilos. You used to be 60 kilos. Okay, that's 20 kg of a difference. Interesting. And then we look at the problem. Okay, we're trying to figure out one core problem. So so weight loss or weight gain looks like to be the problem, but it's not just a problem. Let's keep going. Inside of that health bucket, where else is this manifesting? I'm going to go crazy here, but let's just say it's bloods. Bloods are like, their blood pressure is too high. Okay. How high? The blood pressure should be, 120. It's, 130. Okay, it's over by 10. We're trying to understand the quantitative numbers as to what is the problem that we're trying to solve. Because if there's no problem, there is no reason to get started. Like, just straight up. The only thing you're looking to do is find one specific problem in the sea of problems. Because there's a few problems, but they're not the core problem. We need to figure out what the core problem is. So we're going to go deeper into here. We figured out at a high level here, what's the problem? The next thing I want to understand is, what is the consequences? So Yusuf, you're 20 kilos overweight. You have blood pressure going out your ears. How is that?
I'm really sensitive about my weight. Can you just tone it down?
How is that impacting you? Okay, like what's the impact? So the impact is, let's just say, stress, right? Confidence, okay? Work life productivity. Here's all the impacts. Here's all the consequences of my problem. And then the last stage in this of understanding the current state is looking at, and this is the big one, is looking at the root cause. So the root cause is otherwise known as the expert opinion. So because you guys are experts, or at least on your way to become an expert, this is where you can basically lean in and offer like bespoke feedback. So, I'm talking on my ass here, but it's like, as the expert of fitness, you might say, okay, great. First step is like, this is a common issue. Most people struggle with X, Y, Z for these particular reasons. And this is where you're adding in your own opinion. Now, the more we can understand about someone's current state is the more that we can map to their future state. Future state. Because your future state, in essence, is basically your current state solved. So again, looking at the problem, looking at where they want to get to, quantitative. Looking at where they want to get to, personal goals and professional goals. Let me give you an example. Take the health number. I want to be, let's say, 20 kilos lighter. Okay. Personal goals is I want to work more on my business to drive more revenue. Okay. That was professional. And then the personal goals could be like getting married, kids, playing with like your children or whatever. Okay. So Now we basically have the gap. This is what's otherwise known as a gap in here. Because you guys have done such a great job in your marketing that they're becoming problem aware, but they still don't have the solution, basically. And that's what we're trying to understand here is like, does your solution fit their current scenario? And then the solution here is your program to solve this. I'm going to go a bit deeper on this in a second, but I want to just pause for a second. Any specific questions pop up or anything there?
Comment from Jennifer. My insight is that asking permission to walk through the supportive conversation enables the other person to say yes, at least 3 yeses, to uncover if you're a good fit for them and their goals. You're just helping them discover if I'm the person they want to work with.
Yeah. So this closing process is this, okay? So let's just go. So Jennifer, just to double tap on that, right? So how does the call actually run? If you end up taking like a 30-minute call, we look at the problem, which we just discussed, current state. We look at the pain that's occurring, consequence. We personalize it. Okay? This is pre-pitch. Then we have the pitch, where we will walk through the solution. Then we have the process to get started. And then we have the price. Now let me tell you something cool. All in these areas here, we never, ever, ever, ever say the word I. Ever. We just say the word you. Walk me through the biggest problem you have with your health right now. Why is that a blocker for you? Where are you currently at? Where do you want to get to? And then we want to personalize that solution. I could actually spend 45 minutes on a call, never even saying the word I. Because if you walk into a doctor's office and you're like, my ear's sore, and the doctor's like, damn, my ear was sore too last week and that was really annoying. It's like, this doesn't happen. Whereas people confuse sales with trying to get your solution on someone's throat. Whereas if we are to serve and to be a trusted advisor, we're there to just listen. And then, as you said, ask for permission. And then, can I walk you through how we can solve this problem? Yeah, I would love to know how I'd solve my absolute massive bleeding neck problem. Great, fantastic. Let's walk through that process. And this pitch solves this. It addresses this pain. The process is here, and that solves that pain as well.